I'd like to move on to our next guest on the show, who has just been reinstated as has dropped a suspension that she was suspended as a member of staff for Sheffield University, but that's been dropped. Shahd, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you, and thank you all for being here.
Can I just can we talk about your what happened with you, because as far as I can see it, you were teaching lessons in Sheffield, and then you received a notification that you were suspended and could no longer do that.
Yeah,
Can you tell us what was that all about, and can you tell us a bit about your background as well?
of course. So, my name is Shahd Abusalama, and I was born and raised in Gaza as a third generation refugee in Jabalia refugee camp, um, famously known as Palestine's largest refugee camp, but also the birth of the first Intifada, the birthplace of the first Intifada. So yeah, so I came here, I left Gaza end of 2013, and um, a life of struggle. And like people like us have to work double hard, if not 10 times harder, in order to get anywhere. Um, and not to mention the struggles back home to even get education or access to electricity or access to water, or like it's been a life of struggle that so many Palestinians and refugees would be able to identify with. And and it's just shocking that after this success story basically, I just literally submitted my PhD in historical representations of Palestinian refugees between 1917 Balfour Declaration and 1993, which is the Oslo so-called peace accords.
Hmm.
And I've been instated as an associate lecturer, and I've been so excited about that, going to teach a whole module called post-colonial media culture. And it's just funny how intersecting what I'm going through now and my work, my academic research, and everything. And just I just literally barely did only one lecture. I met the students one time, and then just before I met them for the second time, I get this email from my university that I cannot resume teaching, and a complaint has been handed in, and an investigation is going to be carried out against me, and the students would be notified that my classes would be cancelled until further notice. And this is what I'm telling you now is all I got. So I was like, really? Like I'm here in this university for 4 years, one of the most active in those 4 years. I wonder where's John? Sorry, where's Peter Johns?
Oh, he's. We're going to bring Peter. Well, I'll bring Peter. He's a regular on. Everyone knows Peter on here. So,
Yeah, because Peter John, uh, Dr. Peter, he's my supervisor, and he followed me for a long time, and he knows the kind of struggles that I'm talking about. And this is not the first time that I'm silenced or that I'm subject to such harassment. And it happened before by an attorney that speaks to my university from Vienna, asking them to discipline me just because I spoke up against the IHRA, saying
mm,
that the IHRA wouldn't protect Israeli apartheid from accountability.
Can I just mention? I read a blog that was out about you, and it's I was quite astonished that your father was jailed for. So how many years was your father in jail?
Yeah, so it's 15 years of captive struggle, 15 years that were originally part of a 7 lifetimes, and each lifetime under the Israeli apartheid justice system is 99 years. So my father was supposed to rot in hell, basically, to rot in prison, and I was going to be just a dream. Like I may have not existed if the resistance couldn't manage to brook this prisoners exchange that happened in 1985 that
Mm.
suspended my father's life sentences that he got at age 19. No charge, no fair trial, and the lawyer that defended him has written about his story in her book With My Own Eyes. You probably know her. She's an amazing anti-Zionist voice. Her name is Felicia Langer. She defended my father and his comrades in 1972. And she worked for decades
Mm.
defending Palestinian political prisoners.
Can I just come in, because I'm just thinking, if if my father had experienced that, I would feel justified in criticizing the regime or the country that had done that to him. I mean, I can't see how that wouldn't be a natural response to that situation.
Of
And also there were other things that I read in your life in that blog that would just be impossible not to be critical of Israel for. So it seems incredible that they would try and stop you from being a member of the university. Peter, can you tell us what happened in the university when you found out what was going on there with
Yes, thank you. A pleasure to be with you and Shahad this morning. First of all, it's Sheffield Hallam University, Crispin. It's not the University of Sheffield that we're dealing with here. It's Sheffield Hallam University.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, it's fine. In fact, the business started on Christmas Eve, on the 24th of December, with a smear campaign against Shahad in an article by the Jewish News that was published on the 24th of December. In this article, they were making the most transparent smear campaign against Shahad, but they'd contacted Sheffield Hallam University already. And there was a quote in this article from the Jewish News, a quote from Sheffield Hallam University saying that Shahad was being investigated by the student conduct team. And that's what they said publicly. And since that, there has not been one single word to Shahad from the university officially explaining what the problem is, what the complaint against her is, what the allegations are, what the process is going to be to try and investigate these. And then, of course, on the 21st of January, still with no word from the university, she was told by her line manager that her classes had been cancelled. I mean, this is the most outrageous attack. The university has a duty of care towards all its students and its employees. And can you imagine the psychological harm of reading in the press on the 24th of December that you're being investigated by your own university? This is absolutely outrageous. Now, within Sheffield Hallam, of course, we're acting very strongly in support of Shahad. I'm her supervisor, one of her supervisors, and also a UCU member. UCU reps unfortunately can't make it today, but there is very, very strong support. There's an emergency branch meeting next week on this very topic. But so far, we've been able to, first of all, get Shahad reinstated to her classes. But the main aims, immediate aims, are to get this so-called investigation stopped and to get a public apology from the university with restitution to Shahad for the harm and injustice that they've already caused. At the same time, this is of course an international incident now. Support for Shahad is flooding into the university. jamming up the senior management's emails with protest letters and all the rest of it. And a massive international campaign is underway. I should say that clearly at the heart of this is the IHRA definition, which was adopted by Sheffield Hallam University, in my view, after a complete travesty of a process, a fake consultation process. And so one of our demands is going to be that this IHRA definition be excluded from whatever the process is going on. We need it kicked into touch, and we need to know, of course, what exactly is going on in the university systems. So I'll leave it at that. Thank you.
I am the shortest serving, I was almost the shortest serving academic in the history of academia. It's only because I'm Palestinian and I pose a threat with my own personal history, my own family's history, poses a threat to the mere definition of anti-Semitism and practice everything about it. And this is why they want to silence us. This is why they want to silence Palestinian voices. And that's why the IHRA cannot be taken seriously if the complaints are coming. If the complaints are coming based on that ground, then the complaint shouldn't be taken seriously and should be dropped immediately. And the investigations shouldn't be carried out. Because if it does carry out, then it's inherently discriminatory. The outcome would be inherently discriminatory and would be racist. And it would also, it would just make things worse for me in terms of the mental health pressures. I mean, we know, Peter Jones can comment on that, with UCU members who undergone this process. They call him sick. I don't have this luxury. I'm on an hourly basis contract. I don't have the luxury. And as a Palestinian, I don't work 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I know that there has been lots of comparisons that has been made between me and Jeremy Corbyn and David Miller and Emma Watson and all those people. But those people, like, yes, we are, all of us are repressed because we dare to speak up for Palestine, for justice in Palestine. I mean, Emma Watson, plus her, she only said solidarity is a verb. All she said was that, and that was anti-Semitic. And however, the consequences here are different. And Chantal was talking earlier about the stop the bill and all these things. I am vulnerable to these things. And people like me who are just being themselves, being Palestinians, are subject to this. They are going to be the most vulnerable to the IHRA, to the increasingly hostile migration system. And it's just cannot be accepted. And if you are truly anti-racist, then you would speak up against Zionism. You would speak up against apartheid, against ethnic cleansing.
Yeah. Well, look, we've got to move on, but we're 100% behind you, and we'll do what we can on this show to promote your campaign. And it's a terrible situation you find yourself in, and lots of love to you and solidarity. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so much for hosting me, and thank you so much for everyone here who has been supporting the campaign. Hashtag in support of Shahad. We're still asking people to send letters to say, yes, reinstation is welcome, but the investigations should be dropped, recognizing the mental harm that has been inflicted and the wrong foundation onto which it started. Thank you so much.